Okay, so today we are doing Daraja APIs and you're going to cover two of them. That is the Authentication API and STK Push API. So before we get started, I'm just going to create a sandbox app and give it a name. So Daraja V1, does that make sense? And the only product that I need is Lipa na Mpesa. That's the only product that I need to initiate STK push. And create that app. Just taking a while. So that's done. And I'm going to grab the consumer key and consumer secret. So in this folder, I'm going to create a new one called. No, let me just work here. I have a single file in this folder, and this is callback receiver.py. I'm going to talk about this later, but for now, let's create a new one called STK push.py, and just zooming in a bit so to make sure it's visible. And I'm going to create two variables. That's the consumer key. I'm filling this in a moment, and consumer secret. Yeah, so copy my consumer key and paste it in there, and my consumer secret, place it there. I also need a couple of other variables, but I'll cover those later. So for now, let's go to the API documentation. What does this little thing over here do? How do I use that? So authorization. I think I said authentication at the beginning of this video, but it is authorization. What the Authorization API does is it gives you an access token that you're going to use across all your requests. So if we scroll down, we are only interested in the request body and the response body. So for the request, it takes in basic auth, and that's the username and password. They say the username and password, but then they use the consumer key, which translates to username, and then consumer secret translates to password. So I don't know why they don't put that here explicitly. And yeah, so let's get the access token. Okay, so this is what you're interested in. So I'm going to copy that, and you're going to use request library. So import requests like that. Is that request? And I'm going to have my authentication URL. So I have authentication URL, and then I have how do I paste like that? So yeah, so as I was saying, I'll have my authentication URL for getting the access token, and then later I'm going to have a STK URL. We'll grab that later. So copy that and paste it there. So once this is done, I'm just going to create a request. So create a variable response is equals to request.get, and this one is simple enough. You just pass in your authentication URL, and you're also going to pass in another parameter, auth, and this one is going to be a consumer key and consumer secret. I hope that's correct. So what you expect is JSON response. So first print response.json, and let's run this and see what you get. So Python STK push.py. Syntax error. How did this come here? So run that, and we get a dictionary object that has the access token and expires in If you're going to do something like caching, then you'll need to keep track of these, but for now I'm only interested in this one. So can I do it this way? Let me see. So I'll get rid of that print, and okay, so this is crazy. No, not that crazy. I wanted to take this access token that's commented out here and bring it to the front, but I don't know how to do that, so I'm just going to retype it. So since this one returns a dictionary object, you can access the value of that key like that. Oh, I forgot to print it, so let's print access token AT, yeah, and then run this code. And luckily enough, we get the raw access token, so this one is going to come in handy in the second bit of this code. So let me just delete this unused file, unused lines, so to bring everything together like that, and delete that for now. Maybe you can put this into a function, but that's for later. Next, let's explore the Mpesa Express API. So I'm going to click on simulate, and this one is going to give me the STK URL I was talking about in the beginning. So copy that and paste it in here, and then we need we're going to look at the request shape. Where is it? Is this a request body? Is it the request body or the request shape? Let's go with the docs request body. So for this, I'm going to just paste everything here first to begin with, and then we are going to cover this one by one. So for consumer key, now let's start with the business shortcode. I believe this is the sandbox business shortcode. Is it the same as? You didn't copy that. This is the sandbox business shortcode. I'm going to leave it as it is, and we are going to have to update this password field. So just hold on the delete key, and that is done. So let's type in password, and then come here and create that password variable. So going back to the documentation, password is a base64 encoded string. So what does it contain? It contains shortcode plus passkey plus timestamp. So for timestamp, I'm going to import two things. So from date time, import date time, and then what's happening? Come on. How do I redo things? I don't know how to redo things. So I'm just going to type that again. So from date time, import date time, and then we have another one from zone, actually from zone info, import zone info, like this. So coming back to this place, I even don't know what's happening. Trying to press something, but it's not working. Yeah, there's oh, I copied that, so I just have to delete this. I don't know why I keep getting weird stuff. So delete that, and yeah, I think we're good now. So create the password variable, but before the password variable, you have to create a timestamp like that. If you have them in caps, then they are constants, they're not variables anymore. So going back to timestamp, this is how we have to format it. So timestamp, this one is just going to be date time dot now, date time. I don't know why that keeps happening. So date time dot now, and then you're just going to use zone info, and I'm going to pass in that. This is easy enough to figure out. That's my time zone. So Africa/Nairobi, and then I'm going to format this. So it's year, month, day, hour, minute, and then second. So that's going to be year, then what was it? Month, day, hour, second. Okay. Then you're going to have month, and then you're going to have date, then you're going to have hour, minute, and then second, like that. So yeah, I think that is that. And then for the password, we are going to encode it. It's going to be a base 64. So forgot to import that one in the beginning, so let's import it. So import base 64. Coming back to password, so it's going to be base 64.b64 encode, and then I'm going to pass in a string. It's going to be an F string, tell you in a minute, like this, like that. It's going to be an F string, and then you're going to encode that, and then finally you're going to decode that. So you're going to pass in what was it, shortcode, passkey, and timestamp. So I'm just going to have placeholder for shortcode, and then passkey. You're going to grab that passkey in a second. So timestamp finally. Yeah, I think that is done. So come up here and create the variable for shortcode. Is it 17174 379? Yeah, 174379. And then for the passkey, Daraja does provide a passkey, so I'm just going to Google it. Daraja Sandbox passkey, and copy that. So place that in there. So I think we have the shortcode, passkey, and then we also have the timestamp. I'm curious what this timestamp is going to print, so maybe I can just try to print this timestamp. So print timestamp, like that, and run this script. So datetime as an object, strf time. Really? I'm just going to Google that. Date time. Did it correctly? What am I even getting? No. It's not what I intended to Google. Date time. Okay, let's run this one more time. Let's run this one more time and grab this value. So let's copy it to clipboard, and maybe it's best if I specify my language. strf time. Okay, so coming back here, so strf timestamp, no, strf time, like that. So run that again, and what's happening? Type error, bytes like object is required but not built-in function or method. Base 64.encode. Okay, let me run that one more time so you can see the error. But it's like object is required, not built-in function or method. Does this return a built-in function or method? Okay, so one of the thing I think I did maybe make a mistake is this should be a function that encode. So what happens if we try to run it now? Okay, we get the value that we intend. Yeah, I forgot to include these parameters, these parentheses. We just call it parentheses parameters. So for the business shortcode, I'm going to change this to shortcode and then password. Okay. So what happens if I print the password? Because I need to make sure that we are getting the correct values beforehand. So let's print in that password. Okay, it's good to double check before we go any further, and then something breaks and I won't be able to figure out what is happening. So come on, STK push.py. Yeah, we get the password and it's a base64 encoded string. So let's proceed. So we have this dictionary here and we fill the business shortcode and the password and timestamp. Let's just fill that out right now. So timestamp, and then the transaction type we are going to leave that as default. So because we are using the sandbox credentials, we'll talk about these more in the future, because whenever we are using a pay bill, currently we are using a pay bill, but whenever you're using a till, then the transaction type is going to change. So party A, let me just create a phone number here. So phone number and give it in the format of, it's a string actually, so 254. Do they take the string or do they take the, what type is this? They say it's numeric, but in their payload it's a string. Maybe they do the passing on their end. So let me have that there, and then I'm just going to delete this here and use that phone number that we just configured. Phone number, and party A, party B, we are going to leave it as it is. It can be the same as business shortcode. It doesn't have to be the same. It can, and it can also change. So I don't know if you guys have worked with things like PayHero or Rushback, because they usually initiate an STK and then the prompts come in with their details and the funds land into your account. That's because they're using a different party B other than their shortcode. So for phone number, you're just going to leave it like that, and callback URL. I'm going to configure Nginx in a second. So let me open another tab and another one. So one of these tab is going to run, remember when I told you about this script callback receiver? So let's just run it on this tab, and it's running on port 8000. So I'm going to configure ngrok to run on to listen on the same, to tunnel that port. So ngrok http and then copy this link. So back here we are going to have that, and if I open this file, if I open this callback receiver, and go to this route, you'll see /stk /callback like that. So you want to copy that, and going back to our script, just paste that in there. Oh, what did I do? / I didn't intend to put it there. So slash STK slash callback. That is the endpoint that is going to receive our callback data. For account reference and transaction description, I'm just going with the defaults. So that's done. I just wrap this into a payload. Payload is equals to payload twice in a row. Okay, so you're going to have another response variable. So response is equals to request. This time is a post request, and you have to pass in the STK URL, and you're going to pass in our payload. And finally, we are going to pass in headers. This is where our, what do you call this? This is where our access token comes in place. So I'm going to create a new dictionary here. I'm going to call it headers is equals to, and you're going to create authorization, an F string, then is going to have bearer. What do you pass in here? Our access token, and finally you can just add content type. Then it's going to be a JSON. So that's it. So with this, I expect like this is the shape of the response that I expect. Merchant request ID, checkout ID, response code, and all this stuff. And then I'm also expecting to receive a callback on this terminal. So come back here and print response dot JSON as a method. One thing I want to do is go to the Nginx inspector. So it's 127.1 port 4040, and then I'm going to save that and run this script. So Python STK push.py. Okay, so that indeed did go through. Just cancel that prompt on my phone, and let's wait for the callback data. And we already received it. So this is the shape of the callback data that we received, and this script that I'm running here just sends 200 back to Safaricom. This is the shape of the callback data that we are receiving. So what you can do with this callback data is fulfill a payment. So for example, you've initiated, let me go back here. So if you've initiated an STK push, you can fulfill a payment. You can create a database record with the status set to pending, and then whenever you receive a callback with this, where is it? Okay, this one was cancelled by user, but if you receive a successful one and then you want to fulfill that payment, if it was cancelled by the user, then you're just going to display that to the URL. So that's a wrap up for this tutorial. We did 2 APIs today. So that is, let me go back. That was the Mpesa Express API, and the other one was the Authorization API. So next we'll just tackle some more APIs, and hope I see you in the next video.